So hi everybody, thanks for coming. I'm Chris Conyer, Parks and Rec Director for the City of Winchester. So first of all, I appreciate all of you taking some time out of your Tuesday, spend some short time with us tonight, especially our guests of honor, the McCormac family, Trudy McCormac, Kara Harris, your son Nixon, Brock, and your wife Amanda, and your lovely children. I appreciate you guys coming out. We certainly appreciate it. Today's ceremony is obviously about honoring the McCormac family, especially the parks, the park grounds that we stand on today. Very instrumental in Jim Barnett Park in particular. As you know, and if you don't know, the park dates back all the way to the 1940s, believe it or not. So it's been here a while, and I think it's important to note today the significant impact that the park has on the community, gathering people together and just gathering together and having the opportunity to engage in some wonderful activities that the park has to offer. So our mission in the Parks and Rec Department is to constantly improve the park system, which is a forever ongoing mission. It never ends, and it doesn't happen without great ideas, and today is no exception. Miss Harris, without your idea, approaching city staff, coming up with the idea to name an unnamed street in the park here, which I was just mentioning to her, which is the amount of foot traffic and the amount of people that gather here is high volume all the time. So having an unnamed street, now we're going to officially name the street, is just a wonderful idea, and it makes things a little bit easier for people to navigate through the park when they know where they're going. So I want to acknowledge that, and it's satisfying to be up here to extend the gratitude to the McCormac family and recognize the significant contributions that you've made to the city of Winchester, and we certainly appreciate it. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to Tim Humans, the planning director for the city of Winchester, and he's going to give us some historical perspective.
Thank you, Chris.
Tim?
Thank you, Chris. I want to recognize our mayor and vice mayor, David Smith, our mayor, and John Hill, our vice mayor. Glad they were able to make it out. So both of them would have known if you asked me to give some comments on the history of something. You're in for a lesson. But I had just one page, one side, and I have a whole family of experts here. So hopefully I get this right. H.B. McCormac Sr., which is Holly Brockenborough, McCormac Sr., and then his only son, H.B. McCormac Jr. And they were very important in some of the early development of Winchester. H.B. Sr., he was born on a farm in Frederick County in 1875, attended the old John Kerr School that Shenandoah University has downtown here in the late 1800s, and actually went to what became Virginia Tech, VPI, for part of his early formal training in college, but that got cut short, and so he worked his way up through the ranks with the Virginia Woolen Mill, and actually had interest eventually in some of the other woolen mills in the Shenandoah Valley here. And the Virginia Woolen Mill, for those of you who don't know, that's where the Timbrook Public Safety Center is today. There were a couple of mills here inside the city limits. At one point, that was actually the largest employer in the city. Before we were known for things like Rubbermaid and those Sullivan things, the textile industry was huge in Winchester. He was one of the original chairmen and executive committee for the Shenandoah Apple Blossom Festival. He was an organizer and president of the local Rotary Club, the Winchester Rotary Club. And then just to the east of us here, he was important in developing the Winchester Country Club. So obviously had a love of the outdoors and recreation. Perhaps most importantly, though, said that he donated land for the predecessor to Jim Barnett Park, which was the Winchester Memorial Park, part of which we're in today. He died in 1937. We do need to make a correction to the plaque that says 1935, and that took place at his beautiful home at the end of Hanley Boulevard. If you go up to the high school there, along the north side there, you can see a beautiful home that's up on the hill there. That was appropriately named Maxfield, and so that is where he lived and where he passed away. But he truly was a success story, and he gave back extensively to the community. Moving on to his son, HB Jr., he followed in his father's footsteps, held many roles with the city. He learned the operation kind of, in the short period of time that he had to learn from his father at the woolen mill, and he too became the president of became general manager of the mill. HB Jr. was also very civic-minded, very involved with public affairs. In 1951 and 1952, he served as president of the Shenandoah Apple Blossom Festival. He was director of the Shenandoah Valley National Bank, which is, I think, most recently the Wachovia or Wells Fargo Bank downtown there, Piccadilly and North Loudoun. Unfortunately, his life was cut short at an early age. He was involved in a tragic auto accident to the east of us coming back from the beach Labor Day weekend 1955. So just to wrap up, the McCormac Amphitheater is at the end of this roadway here, and when Kara asked me if there was something that we could do to honor her grandfather and her great-grandfather and surprise her mother, I thought that this would be an appropriate location, and so today we're fulfilling that desire, and I think it's very appropriate given the significant contributions that HB Sr. and HB Jr. made to this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newman.